live from the Wallace Family Homestead and City National Arena.
Vegas to the ozone. Anderson drops it off Marner. Closing, top of the right circle. Through it, back door. They score! It's another first goal for Brett Howden.
This is the VGK Insiders Show.
Dorofeev joins on the right boards. Cutting through right side toward the goal. Back door. They score! Barbashev. The Knights are back in front.
With Darren Millard and Ryan Wallace.
Tie up there, Anderson. Knights get the puck. Lifted out by Marner with 10 seconds. And will make it toward the empty goal. It rolls across the line. Marner with 6 seconds to go. From 170 feet, Vegas takes a 3-1 lead. In position to claim victory in Game 1.
On Fox Sports Las Vegas.
Welcome in, Vegas Golden Knights Insider Show, Fox Sports Las Vegas. Ryan Wallace, Darren Millard, Jered Justice hanging out with you for the next 2 hours. Golden Knights victorious in Game 1 of their second round playoff series against the Anaheim Ducks. How we doing, boys?
Second straight series that the Vegas Golden Knights draw the opening win to kick things off. In round 1, they beat the Utah Mammoth, and then in round 2, take the game against the Anaheim Ducks last night. Different reactions by the players and the coach from those two victories. It was a well-earned game number 1, curtain raiser against the Utah Mammoth. And today, when you listen to the players, we'll hear from Noah Hannafin and Colton Sissons, also the head coach, John Tortorella. There's a real tone that they have to be a lot better going forward in this series against the Anaheim Ducks. A lot to get to today. We've got some action on the ice in the Stanley Cup playoffs. We also have the NHL Draft Lottery, which is being held this afternoon, just about to get underway, and we'll give you an update on that as it goes through. A bit of a change in goaltending. We see another team switch up its netminders. That's taking place for the Minnesota Wild. So a few things to delve into as we go through this day on the VGK Insider Show. But first, I have to call out our good friend Jered Justice. Jered?
Oh, boy.
Jered, are you there?
I
I
am.
don't know if he's there.
All right,
Oh,
Jered.
there he is.
Jered,
There he is.
I think the world of you, man. Like, you look ahead, you prepare this show like nobody, no offense to Chris Chapman, but your production thoughts, your production talents are unequaled as far as anybody we've worked with. But it's Cinco de Mayo Day. How do we not have Jesus?
That is actually really funny because I, all day this morning, walked around the office looking for Jesus, and I ran into him about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah?
And he is happy to come on the show anytime we ask.
Really?
Except for today.
Oh.
Except for today?
Yes.
Really?
Today he was busy. So I was planning on surprising you guys with
Is he
Jesus
Cinco de
later.
Mayo?
I think he might have an event that he is either...
Is he Cinco de Mayo?
I believe he might have an event that he is at. But
Well, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I mean, Jesus is a busy guy. I would be shocked if he's not doing something today for Cinco de Mayo. Come on.
It seemed obvious to me, and I didn't want to be that guy to go, hey, come on. I'd rather do it after the fact when I can call you out and go, come on, guy.
Well, I will say that I think you will appreciate the 5 o'clock open.
Ooh.
So we got a little flavor on that one.
So are you going to now go edit that together in reaction to me calling you out, or have you done that already?
That was planned.
Okay.
But
Can I take the take?
I got the text messages to prove it.
Can I just spin it like you reacted to me putting you on blast?
yeah, I mean, it's your show.
Awesome. That's good. I can't wait to lean into that and pretend like it's all because I put you on blast.
That's fair.
Put you on notice.
Jered doesn't care.
I'm going to go back to my cave now.
Okay.
Don't ask me to open my mic anymore. Love it.
We didn't have to ask the other guy to open his mic.
That's true. It was always on. Always ready.
Didn't have to do that. So Vegas wins 3-1. The empty netter clinches things. Scored first last night. Got pushed with a late goal by Anaheim, but responded immediately, and were able to pull out a Game 1 win. I thought they. I'll be honest. Given some of the narrative that I've heard, I thought they played better than what's being talked about. I thought they were better than John Tortorella's take on things. Some of that might be coach speak. Some of that might be just the organization, the players. Taking their lead from that side of the tone. We already heard from Mitch Marner last night saying that they've got to be better. The first period they held on a little bit, but after that I didn't mind their game in the second and third period. They definitely required some solid play from their goaltender. They don't win without an outstanding game from Carter Hart, but all of it, they did have some good chances, and believe it or not, high danger chances were closer than people given what we've heard from different people after Game 1 were more equal, not totally balanced, but we're closer to that than people might believe. So when you look at the expected goals last night, VGK actually had a higher expected goal ratio than the Anaheim Ducks.
Yeah.
Okay. Ozone possession time belonged to the Ducks, so there was that. Shots definitely favored the Ducks. High danger scoring chances was 20-17 in favor of the Ducks, so that's almost even. Scoring chances off the rush 6-5. Now here's the one that. This is where I think the coach really would look into and notice. Turnover scoring chances was 10-5 in favor of Anaheim. Yeah. So you Vegas put themselves into a bad spot, and Anaheim took over and turned that into 10 scoring chances to 5 for the Vegas Golden Knights. But a lot of those chances were equal, or a couple of cases just slightly in favor of the Anaheim Ducks. But the expected goals were actually 3.67 for Vegas, 3.34 for Anaheim. It doesn't go with all of what we've heard from game number 1. So where are you on how Vegas played in the opener?
I mean, I'm kind of right in the middle of, probably where John Tortorella is in terms of.
I don't think Torts is in the middle at all.
No. I'm not saying he's in the middle. I'm saying I'm in the middle of his view on things versus kind of where the stats show the game was equal at parts, based on what you just talked about. Like, I don't think the Golden Knights had anywhere close to their A game last night. I just don't think they did. And to your point, you don't win the game without Carter Hart. You also don't win the game without Jackson Lacombe passing up a wide open net to Troy Terry. You don't win the game without Leo Carlsson airmailing a great opportunity in front, looking at a wide open net. Like, there were certainly missed opportunities for Anaheim where they just were not on net for glorious chances. But all that being said, I think for me, the metric in the first round against Utah for Vegas was the offensive zone time, the ability to lean on Utah, to wear them down in the offensive zone, to create offense from those extended shifts, so to speak, in the offensive zone. And that really wasn't there. Like, I didn't think the Golden Knights had enough zone time to lean on and create mistakes from the Ducks' young players and their defense. So that's kind of an area where I think that they need to improve. But I don't think that they played as poorly as John Tortorella thinks they did. But I don't know that it was as even as some of the statistics would tell you either.
So ozone time favored Anaheim by 2 minutes last night.
Yeah.
24-22. That's pretty close. Now, Ozone possession time was 6:43 to 4:43, but keep in mind that that Anaheim had twice as many power plays as Vegas. So the numbers tell a different story than the verbal narrative that we've heard. And the first, I'll give everybody the first period. Anaheim was really good in that first period. But the second and the third, well, there was a gap in the third period in shots. Anaheim was chasing the game a little bit, so you expect a little bit of a push on that side. I really like the Golden Knights game as it went along, and I thought Vegas had some great chances too last night. Certainly that third period power play, a chance to put it away. So if that's Vegas not being on top of their game, last night, I'm encouraged. One, you got the goaltending to back you up, and it hasn't been required often this year where your goaltender had to keep you in a game. And I'm right on the fence on whether that was a steal or not. I'll have to get my buddy Kevin Woodley. We're just waiting for him to get back to me to chime in on this because there is a column like goalie steals. Whether that qualified as a goalie steal, but it was a really good game, and he kept them in the game last night in Carter Hart. That hasn't been required a lot this year, where you had to come up with more saves than the other guy, and more big saves than the other guy. But that certainly was it, and I've loved his last two games. But last night, you don't win without Carter Hart in the game last night. But you also. You had more good chances than I think people want to than jump out to them, and you got continued great play out of Ivan Barbashev, who now that's 7 straight games in the Stanley Cup playoffs to the point. The record is 10 by the Vegas Golden Knights, so he's getting into some areas of pretty good company. Second most points per game or point streak in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and you've got Brett Howden, who establishes the record for most goals consecutively with 4 games in a row with a goal. Mitch Marner helps put the game away. Mitch Marner assists on the Brett Howden play. There was a lot to like about last night, and I think there's a lot to build on from last night, and you'd like to take more pressure off your goaltender. You'd like to be able to have it balanced. You'd like to take fewer penalties, certainly. But I left that rink last night confident in what I saw, and that they won the game. It wasn't as lopsided as I felt the narrative alluded to. And there's still growing space to take place for the Vegas Golden Knights.
You know, I think one of the big positives for me coming out of the game was the Golden Knights penalty kill, and a lot of that had to do with Carter Hart. He did make 5 saves on shorthanded or opportunities or power play opportunities for the Anaheim Ducks. You need your goaltender to be really solid in that regard, but I thought Vegas did a great job, and you might have the numbers in front of you, just winning faceoffs and getting clears. And it was something in how the Ducks had their faceoff formation that when Vegas got a win, they were able to rim that puck out. They were able to kill 20, 25 seconds. And I liked the fact that the Golden Knights in game number 1 established a penalty-killing dominance against Anaheim. It's not to say that the Ducks didn't get some chances, but I thought the penalty kill from Vegas was certainly something to kind of pull out of game number 1, as that's where you need to be for the entire series. And the rest of the game, 5-on-5, all of it, I think will improve and get better as the series wears on, because that's kind of what the Golden Knights are able to do.
Something I noticed from Vegas in the second and third period, more specifically, and this will go to a team that's grown, that's evolved. And I'll start by one of the criticisms of this group, and it's changed a little bit from year to year to year to year, is they would get stubborn with the puck and try to make plays where plays weren't there, specifically in the neutral zone or at the opposition's blue line. And it would lead to turnovers, which would then come back and create chances at the other end in your own zone. Last night, Vegas did a really good job. When plays weren't there, they dumped the puck in, and didn't always capitalize on their forecheck to get the puck back. Didn't always put it in a great spot to get the puck back, but their turnover percentage last night in those situations was very good. I wish there was a stat, and I certainly am not going to stand up and say that there should be this, that somebody should keep track of it, but I wish it existed on number of dump ins. And getting the puck in, because Vegas did a really good job not getting greedy or not getting impatient in the game last night, and just live to fight another day, sort of thing, and get it in deep. Their transition game wasn't great. There wasn't a lot of connection in there to be able to get the puck in the zone. Anaheim did a good job of that, but what Vegas did a good job of is they avoided playing into Anaheim's hands and did a really good job of just getting in deep and forecheck and try to create chances that way. And the winning goal comes off a play in which they did that. They got the puck down. Now, should it have been icing? I think that there's certainly an argument on Anaheim's side, but how the play developed, Lacombe and Eichel go in for the puck. It comes out, and Pavel Dorofeev makes an all-world play. We've discussed at length this year, both on the television side and on the VGK Insider Show, at his incredible ability to possess the puck on the boards, his board work, his work on the wall, and he took a puck on the wall last night and split a couple of Anaheim Duck players and made that play that there wasn't a lot there at the moment. Made that into something, and the tap in for Ivan Barbashev. So that was one where maybe it would have went for icing, but it didn't. But the point was they didn't try to do something too much with that play. They got it out of their own zone, got it down the ice, and that actually did lead to something. So I think on a different night where things are going a little bit better for you, you're going to create a few more chances off the rush. But last night they didn't push it, didn't get too impatient or risky with it, and it led to a nice 3-1 victory that you can be happy with. Is that going to happen every night where your goaltender comes up with significantly more saves than the other guy? And based on the shots on goal last night, 34-22, you're not going to win a ton of those games. But the number of games that Vegas held the opposition to 25 or fewer shots this year, and the puck bounced against them, or the phrase they found a way to lose those games, or the loss found them in those games. The win found them last night. They found a way to win last night.
Yeah, I think that's the right way to look at it, right? And you're not going to apologize for it. John Tortorella said as much yesterday. Like, sometimes you need to find a way when you don't have it the way that you typically do, or the way that they closed out, say, Game 6 against Utah was not the same level of performance from the Golden Knights, but they found a way to win. It was because of great goaltending from Carter Hart. It was because they got some continued brilliance out of Mitch Marner and Brett Howden. You mentioned the play from Pavel Dorofeev to pull it off the wall, get it to Ivan Barbashev, and the Anaheim Ducks, to your point, probably have a case for why they believe it should have been icing, but the whistle didn't go, and you got to play to the whistle. The Golden Knights were able to do that. They were able to steal momentum right back after Anaheim had tied the game, and then, you know, they locked it down, right? Like, they didn't really give up too much in terms of the 6-on-5. Like, there were some looks. There were, again, some big saves from Carter Hart, but the Golden Knights were able to get that one across, and they found a way to win, and they found a way to kind of establish that it's going to take a lot for Anaheim to come in and beat this team.
First win by Vegas against Anaheim this year, and it comes at the most important time. We'll get more into the call that didn't happen in the play that led to the Golden Knights' game-winning goal last night. Danny Webster from the Las Vegas Review-Journal is going to join us in just a little bit. And also the empty net goal. I love empty net goals. I think
so
that
cool.
they are massively underappreciated in all of hockey. Because how it changes the game, and people that look down on them have never cheered for a team that needed an empty net goal to relax and enjoy and sit back. It is a big thing. But last night's empty net effort by Mitch Marner was one of the more unique performances. We'll get into that as we continue. This is Fox Sports Las Vegas and the VGK Insider Show with Ryan Wallace, Darren Millard, and Jered Justice.
Hockey. Noun. Webster's dictionary defines hockey as a game played on an ice rink by two teams of 6 players on skates, whose object is to drive a puck into the opponent's goal with a hockey stick. It's time to talk to Webster. Danny Webster, that is.
It's the VGK Insider Show on Fox Sports Las Vegas, day between games 1 and 2. We're reflecting a little bit on the 3-1 victory by the Golden Knights against the Anaheim Ducks last night in the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Also looking ahead to what we're going to see as both teams make their adjustments. And here's the beat writer of the Las Vegas Review-Journal, covers the Vegas Golden Knights, Danny Webster. You keep him one eye on the draft lottery, which has just come down. The picks awarded. Vancouver will select 3. They finished last, but they slide down to 3. San Jose gets the second overall pick, so they will have an opportunity to add to their coffers. And the number 1 pick winning the draft lottery, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Reaction, Danny Webster.
I want to apologize. As I was driving home from the office just now, and I looked at my phone at a red light. I promise it was a red light. And I hope I did not scare the people next to me or in front of me when I saw Elliot Friedman's tweet come through that the Maple Leafs won the draft lottery. I wish I could describe my not surprise, but also surprise of LOL. Of course, it would be the Toronto Maple Leafs. Go figure. That would be my reaction.
There's always drama around Toronto, but this takes it to a new level. All
never,
right?
Never any drama.
I don't think you even know about this, because Toronto's traded picks and moved things around the last couple of years. This is a tweet from Kevin Kurz, all right? And he said, reminder for tonight's, this is before the pick, the draft lottery. Reminder for tonight's draft lottery, according to multiple team sources, the Flyers believe that if Toronto ends up in the top 5, they will get the 2027 first-rounder, original property of the Maple Leafs unprotected and not top 10 protected. They believe that Toronto essentially already traded its 2028 first-round pick in the Brandon Carlo deal. So they're not sure if the Leafs will agree, but I'm not sure. If Toronto retains its 2026 first round after tonight, expect the 2027 first rounder to go to the Flyers. So Toronto now has a choice to keep this one or go next year. They will now keep this year's pick and select first overall. So even when they're winning, there's confusion about it. the draft lottery plays multiple different angles, and the Toronto Maple Leafs will be able to hold on to it. So, in a wild week for the Toronto Maple Leafs, in which they announce their general manager and bring back Matt Sundin, and all the angst and crazy coverage that occurred with that, they end up winning the draft lottery. So that's the case when it comes to who's going to draft first, second, and third. Toronto, San Jose, and the Vancouver Canucks. Poor Vancouver. They really did need that in a great way. But it may take pressure up, because there's a real debate about who will go first overall right now.
Yeah. I think ultimately it'll probably land on Gavin McKenna, right? Just because he's been the top prospect all year. Obviously, the way his season ended at Penn State, probably not a good idea or not a good look on his record. But I think you just can't ignore the talent. You can't ignore what he brings as a prospect. And if Toronto, God forbid, keeps the pick, which at this point they probably will. But it wouldn't be a John Chayka run team if that were the case. If there wasn't
Ivor Stenberg, the Swedish kid, World Championship, World Junior Championship, like he's made a push here. They're going to have to make a choice, and Matt Sundin now part of their hockey operations. We'll see how it goes. Didn't mean to take up most of your time with that, so let's slide over to the Golden Knights.
It's all good. I can always talk about the Leafs.
The debate about on the winning goal last night, whether it should have been icing or not. Where the people that you talked to, where did you fall on that in the race to the puck between Jack Eichel and Jackson Lacombe?
It was a really tight race, right? Like it depending on how you look at it, you can see that either Lacombe kind of led up there. You can kind of see that maybe Jack led up toward the end there. It was a really close call. And, when you look at the linesman, it looks like he's going to call it, and then he kind of waves it off. And I think, good on the Golden Knights and good on the veteran savvy to play through to the whistle and get the goal there. I think probably if you're Anaheim, you still want better defensive coverage on the weak side there, leaving Barbashev alone for the tip-in. But, good on them for playing to the whistle. And, I think the Golden Knights, obviously a lot of the talk over the last day and a half has been about getting out of there with a win. It doesn't matter how you do it. It's just the fact that they did. And given the fact that really the first 40, 45 minutes, I thought it was really controlled by Anaheim in that game. Good on them for finding a way to get the win and at least going into Game 2 tomorrow with some momentum, but also knowing that they got to clean a lot of things up here.
And the hybrid icing rule, keep in mind it's at the face-off dots, basically. They're going to call that thing face-off dot around the top of the circle, and that's where the linesman makes the play, judging who would eventually. You're basically guessing who would touch the puck first when the players get to the face-off dots. Right around there, it looks like Jack's got a half a step. And then both players kind of eased up on it, and I didn't mind the call. It didn't jump out to me right away. I wasn't as engaged as Joel Quenneville obviously was, but it wasn't egregious by any point, and it doesn't take away from the fact that Pavel Dorofeev just then turned it into something.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I say, you're playing into the whistle there, and good on Jack for, finding a way to apply the pressure and get the puck before Lacombe could, and, making a play to get Pavel the puck off the half wall, and he can turn, like I said, something out of nothing. So I don't think it was, completely egregious. I think it's definitely a call that you could have made either way. But the fact that Anaheim had just tied it a minute before and you come back and get that goal, it's going to be a talking point probably for the rest of the series if it continues to play out. But, yeah, like I said, good on the Golden Knights for using the veteran savvy to play to the end of the whistle and for getting out of there with a win in a game where, like I said, they have a lot to clean up for going into tomorrow night.
And Vegas would have been upset if that had been called icing. Like, there would have been arms waved like, hey, We were right here. So it was right on the fence. When you don't have touch icing, when it's a hybrid and the linesman has to make a decision, that was right on the line. So I understand Anaheim's angle. I also I'm on board with the non-whistle and being able to let it go. Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, Danny, you've alluded to it a couple of times, right? That there are areas of the game the Golden Knights can be better. Where are they in your opinion? Like, where must Vegas improve in Game 2 from Game 1?
Yeah, I think puck management was a big problem in the first period. You look at the way that first period unfolded, especially at 5-on-5. They got outshot 11-3. Scoring chances were 9-4. High dangers 4-1 in favor of Anaheim. Like it wasn't the cleanest of periods. Carter Hart bailed them out big time with save after save. A couple of odd man rushes for Anaheim going the other way. You don't want to get that team going in transition. We've talked a lot about how the similarities are between Anaheim and Utah. You do not want to get into a track meet with Anaheim. If you're going to get into a track meet, you need to match them stride for stride. And, they didn't get to that in the first period. Fortunately, like I said, Carter Hart bailing them out with 11 big saves in that opening frame. And the fact that you have a PK that is now 19-20 in the postseason, you could at least hang your hat on that. If Anaheim scores one of those power plays, we're probably talking about a different result here today. I think puck management needs to be an area of emphasis going into tomorrow. But they got better, I think, as the game wore on. I think Anaheim was still in control firmly through it, and the numbers would probably back that up. But the fact that they were able to, one, get the saves that they needed, and two, make the timely plays on defense to kind of limit Anaheim as the game wore on, I think those are positives that you can take away from that. But they definitely got to be cleaner in their own zone. They got to be cleaner in the neutral zone. In order to ensure that they got momentum going into tomorrow.
Yeah, it's funny. We talked in the first segment. The numbers were closer than the conversation has led us to believe. Talking about to the players and Coach John Tortorella. I think when you look at some of the data, it paints a slightly more optimistic picture than we've heard. And knowing that they were able to win the hockey game was also good. But they also they were missing Jeremy Lauzon last night. William Karlsson went in. Went with primarily 4 defensemen last night.
Yeah, pretty much. Ben Hutton only played about 8 minutes last night. And I was asking John Tortorella today, just kind of, when you got a guy who's ready to go and he's doing everything he can to stay ready for moments like that, like how much does that help them? And he said he gave some good minutes last night. And, I think it's hard to kind of generalize when someone on the blue line is playing 8 minutes, how can you kind of generalize that? But, Ben Hutton's a very savvy veteran guy who is willing and able to come in at any situation and play to the best of his abilities. What his role looks like for the rest of the series is going to be up in the air. I mean, it depends on how serious this injury is for Jeremy Lauzon and how long he'll be out for. But it's going to be incumbent on Ben Hutton to provide that veteran presence alongside Kaden Korczak and give that third pairing some decent minutes to at least alleviate the pressure on that top four. And I mean, that top four can skate for, 3 hours straight if it wanted to, but you obviously don't want to get to that point. But the fact that, you're going to need your third pairing at some point in the series to deliver, you probably want to see a little bit more minutes from Ben Hutton in that situation. But yeah, I think that Lauzon is a big absence that they're going to need to fill. He's been playing very well since the second half of the season, and they're going to need him. And especially if this series starts to get a little bit more feisty and gets a little bit more physical, I think as the games continue, as we expect, it's probably going to be.
Another goal for Brett Howden, another 2-point day for Mitch Marner. Those two players specifically have seemed to find the chemistry, so to speak. Why do you think Howden and Marner work so well together?
Yeah, Ryan, when you and I were talking on the pregame yesterday, and I said the ideal situation would be putting Karlsson with Stone and Marner on that line. It's going to be hard to break that line up when those two still are scoring and putting together just unreal chemistry. I think when you got Brett Howden who's willing to go to the net and willing to get into the dirty areas, and where Mitch is putting the puck, and you look at really on all the goals that Marner has been the primary guy on Howden. The two shorties, the one in Game 6 and the one last night. It's all about Brett going to the net. It's all about being, right in front and, getting into those dangerous areas. And, he has been able to find him in those spots, perfectly. And you look at the play last night, it's coming around toward the right dot. And that Howden is going to the net, and all you got to do is put it in the right spot, and he finds the space.
I don't know how Marner saw him. I don't know how Marner saw him.
No idea. I mean, it was an amazing pass, and I think the fact that he held on to it for another second and got around the traffic and found the space to thread the needle was really great by him. And Marner has been picking up his game the last little bit. Howden continues to score. Now, if Mark Stone can get back to his scoring ways, you got a line there that can contribute in all three ways. And so far, when you got those two going, and if your captain, who is a capable point per game guy, is still trying to find his game, I'd say that's a good sign.
What do you think of the empty netter?
Good golf shot. A good golf shot. That was it was a very nice, lofty, slow roller that. I had to look at the replay 4 times to make sure that it wasn't Mark Stone that did score that goal, because the camera panned to him, and I was like, oh, wait, no, they're giving it to Marner. Okay. But yeah,
I thought it was going to hit the scoreboard.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, me too. It was getting there.
The scoreboard is 40 feet off the ice, and I was thinking that was going to be colliding with the scoreboard, and then you'd have a face-off in your own zone. It was that close.
Yeah, I was actually about to ask, what's the rule on that? Because I know, if you, when the Cowboys in their stadium, when they have to punt it and it hits the scoreboard, they have to repunt it. So good to know that it would have been an offensive zone draw. That probably would not have been good with, 6 seconds ago or however long it was. That could have been bad.
Would not have been a delay of game, though. I don't believe. It would not have... I should double check that. I'll send a note. But I don't believe it would have been delay a game when in your defensive zone, if you throw it out of play over the glass, you get penalized. I don't think it would be the same case for hitting the scoreboard.
Well, that would have really been bad for a 6-on-4 with 13 seconds left. That would have been bad.
But he got some good release on it. Normally, like golf, you wanted to check a little bit. He got some good solid straight bounce off it.
Oh yeah, and the fact that it was kind of did like a little bit of a curve when he got to about 30 feet away. I was like, oh, this is actually probably one of the more prettier empty netters that we've seen. It was really, really good by Mitch. Really good by him.
It was an empty netter with style, is how I'd kind of phrase it. William Karlsson, we talked about him going into the game, expectations where they might have been after missing 6 months. What do you think of Karlsson in his first game back?
Thought he was fine, and I think that's kind of what you wanted from Karlsson. Only 11 minutes last night, so that you kind of want to see the minutes up a little bit more. But I think he was fine. He was good in his own zone. I think there were a couple of plays in the offensive zone where I think he had a good shot from the left circle that was probably his most dangerous chance. I think he had Hurdle maybe on the weak side on one during the first period that he almost hit him. So he was definitely making plays. He was skating well. I think, like I told you last night, I think that the skating is there. That's at least going to help him as he goes along. But I think the timing is going to take a little bit. Be interesting to see if that line sticks together for game 2. I'm not sure what you do in that situation. If you do got to make a change, if you get Riley Smith back on there and kind of rekindle that magic between those two and see what happens. But, I thought he was fine. I thought he did good. I thought his line was fine and nothing too egregious in the defensive zone. So I would say job well done on that front.
Thanks for your time today, pal. It's fun catching up to you with you as we work our way through this journey with the Vegas Golden Knights. Appreciate it.
Of course. See you guys tomorrow.
There's Danny Webster covering the Vegas Golden Knights all the way through this Stanley Cup playoff run. The draft lottery has been held today. We will run through that again in more detail as we continue on one-timers, news and notes from around the National Hockey League. Set you up for some visits with John Tortorella and Noah Hannafin on the way. It's the VGK Insider Show at Fox Sports Las Vegas. Stay with us.
You're listening to the VGK Insider Show.
Talked about it a little bit on the TV side with Alec Martinez and Darren Elliott. We need a name for this duo, Mitch Marner and Brett Howden. Need to come up with something, a nickname for that combination. And isn't it amazing how things happen? When that line was put together, it was all about Mitch Marner and Mark Stone. And the combination, killing penalties, of Marner and Howden has transitioned into 5-on-5 and the goal last night. And Brett Howden being able to score in 4 straight games, and has become a little bit of Howden and Marner as opposed to the captain Mark Stone in that combination. So I'd love to hear from people. Give me a nickname for the two of them, or a comparable duo between the two of them. We've bounced around a little bit, and quite honestly, we haven't come up with anything that has some sticking power with it.
What have you come up with so far?
Nothing good. Like it's not even worth going through it. We just haven't come up with
like blanket ideas.
Well, we've tried to play off
what's not good enough.
We've tried to play off their names, whether it's
right.
Marner and Howden or Brett and Mitch. We just haven't been able to come up with anything. So I'm looking for some help on this one, because we got to. There's no guarantee that it's going to last, so we got to attach something now and have some fun with it and ride things out.
Yeah, I mean, initially I'm leaning into the idea of Bretsky, but there's no way that I can
Bretsky. Yeah, but how does Howden fit into that?
No.
Or,
just utilizing
Marner fit into that.
Right, I know. My point is adding something to that. Like Bretsky works for Brett Howden. Mitch Marner, I can't really make a comparable in terms of his name to anybody else.
Well, Gretzky and Curry. So
I know.
So you got Bretsky
I was thinking about
and Murray,
Marnie Curry, but that doesn't work out very well either. Yeah. That's not good.
See, it's awkward, right?
Yeah. Well, okay.
There's nothing that jumps right out at you.
Well, you can call them the line, because they make you go with the plays that they make.
No.
H&M, yeah?
No.
Okay. You want to lean into the H&M clothing store?
No.
You could do that. Stylish. Always making plays. I don't know. I got nothing for you. H&M doesn't do anything for me.
So put it out. Use the text line to your advantage. Use it for good.
Use it for good to come up with a name. Are we just ignoring Mark Stone's on that line?
Well, it's the combo, because they've been so great killing penalties. It's the duo.
Okay.
No offense, Mark.
I mean, Howdy Marner, like Howdy Partner. That's from Stefan.
I don't mind that.
Howdy Marner.
That's
like
better
that.
than anything I've heard. Howdy Marner.
Yeah, well, when you go with that tomorrow on the pregame show, make sure you give Stefan some credit, because you weren't picking up on that. Neither was I.
No, that's why I put it out to the people.
I know, saying give Stefan credit. That's all.
Howdy, Marner. I think we can work a couple more options in here. But, Stefan, thanks for getting us started on this. I got an answer back regarding the Mitch Marner flip-out that ended up in the back of the net, the empty netter, and what would have happened if it would have hit the score clock.
Okay.
I'll tell you all about that as we continue. Hour number 2 of the VGK Insider Show coming up on Fox Sports Las Vegas.
Live from the Wallace Family Homestead and City National Arena.
Entra Rasmus, deja Mitch Marner. Marner tiene espacio, va a sacar el disparo por el costado izquierdo, lo pone frente a la red. ¡Gol! El primero de los Vegas Golden Knights. ¿Quién más? Brett Howden, Alejandro Romo.
This is the VGK Insiders Show.
Llega primero el equipo de los Vegas Golden Knights. Acá está solito Noah Hannifin. Viene para el disparo. ¡Gol! presente, Barbashev.
With Darren Millard and Ryan Wallace.
Costado derecho, parte trasera de la portería. El equipo de los Vegas Golden Knights tiene el spot. Lo levantan, señores. Y allá va. ¡Qué gol!
On Fox Sports Las Vegas.
3-1 win by the Vegas Golden Knights in Game 1 against the Anaheim Ducks in this second-round series of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Brett Howden, Ivan Barbashev, and Mitch Marner all finding the score sheet. Brett Howden now has the longest postseason goal-scoring streak in VGK history, 4 in a row. Ivan Barbashev has points in the first 7 games of the Stanley Cup playoffs. That's 3 off the VGK's all-time mark. And Mitch Marner is cranking things up with a goal and an assist last night, including the empty netter that narrowly went by the scoreboard and fell and slid into the back of the net. Vegas never trailed yesterday in winning Game 1. Welcome to the second hour of the VGK Insider Show on Fox Sports Las Vegas. Darren Millard, Ryan Wallace, and Jered Justice, who will hear from John Tortorella as well as Noah Hannafin. Colton Sissons also spoke earlier today, so we'll get you some of that sound. But the Golden Knights will now had a day. Only the guys, the extras, skated today, so everybody else was basically off the ice. A chance to just collect themselves and then go right back in, because they only had 2 days off between series, and now they go every second day. So that's that goes to managing your rest in anticipation, especially if you have some overtime games like they had in the Utah series.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think for the Golden Knights, getting a day away from the rink to a certain degree is incredibly important. You got to see that first look at Anaheim. You're going to go right back to work tomorrow. So rest and recovery, incredibly important. It's definitely something that you're going to need as you get deeper and deeper into the playoffs. And, you know, I think for Vegas, a little bit more juice, a little bit more energy from getting a little bit more rest today should help them in game number 2.
A couple of just inside the game observations from last night. The ice time, very balanced on the forward side of things. Only one of the forwards was over 20 minutes. That was Jack Eichel, just shy of 21. Then you had Mitch Marner at 18-12. The centerman went down like this. Jack at 21 minutes, Mitch Marner at 18-12. Then you had Nick Dowd at 13 and a half, and William Karlsson at 11. I felt this is funny. This is why you need this data, this stuff to lean on, because I felt like I noticed William Karlsson more than 11 minutes worth last night, but he got above 10 minutes. Mark Stone was 19-25, so he was knocking on the door of 20 minutes, but really balanced. Everybody played at least 10. But only one guy was over 20. Now, on the defensive side, you had top-heavy minutes in McNabb and Shea Theodore, both over 25 minutes, and then Hannafin and Anderson were both over 21. The other two were 8:49, 13:08 between Ben Hutton and Caden Korzak. So that's some of the ice time allotment. I really liked William Karlsson's game last night. Be curious to talk to him and get into it, what he thought of his first game in 6 months. But that was a pretty good performance for the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, you know, Karlsson, the legs, his ability to skate was on display. He was able to get to some pucks. He was able to make some plays in the offensive zone. Had a really good look. Lukas Dostal made a nice save on one of the opportunities, the shot on goal for William Karlsson. So, you know, I think he was, you know, as I expected, right? Like, he was in and around it. That's just kind of the player that he is. And, you know, I like the idea of pairing Karlsson up with Tomas Hertl. Because I just think that it's so important the Golden Knights are able to get Hertl going in terms of production. Like, he's been in and around it. He's had chances. The last domino to fall for Tomas Hertl is putting the puck in the back of the net. And I think Karlsson, as he gets the rust knocked off game after game, is going to be able to create more and more opportunities for Tomas Hertl to get that next goal and feel really good about where his game is at.
Dowd line did play more than the Carlson line. Now, their special teams plays a certain influence on those minutes, and the Vegas Golden Knights had to kill 4 penalties last night, and it was 2 minutes, full 2 minutes in all 4 of those. So there was a lot of shorthanded minutes to go around last night. Here's John Tortorella, and Torts, even on a day between games, he had his coach face on today. And off of last night, where he wasn't crazy about the performance, the feeling was going into our conversation with him was how differently would he look at the game after having an opportunity to watch it back. Here's John Tortorella today.
What did the tape show you that maybe didn't stand out as much last night?
We were not good.
Anything specific that...
Not going in specifics with you.
That mean you're going to have to make changes in what you're doing in lines?
Play better.
Are you planning on changing your lineup up?
Not going in specifics.
When you look at game 1 of the Utah series and how different or
I don't even remember it.
in terms of the physicality or the after the whistle stuff, is that just a product of teams moving on to the second round, things becoming more real, or the adrenaline dump from...
I'm not sure what your question is. What are you asking?
There seemed to be a lot less after the whistle type stuff in game 1.
Points of emphasis from the referees before the series. I don't think either team wants to get down a man. They've told us they're going to just take 1 instead of the 4-on-4. So it's a little bit about discipline.
Ben Hutton's a guy that is very loved in the locker room. Whether he gets in the lineup or not, he's always someone who's always staying ready as a veteran player. What does that do for a group when he has to go in a pinch like that? What does it kind of break a guy like that?
Well, you hope he does his work. He's put his time in as far as when he's not playing. Gave us some good minutes.
Coach, you talk a lot about the importance of starting fast. How do you coach that and kind of make that adjustment?
That's a mindset. That's guys being ready. I think it comes into anticipation skills. To me, it's not a physical skill, it's your readiness. And we were certainly void of that.
When you look at when you're looking back at games, how much do you use analytics when you're looking back at a lot of, that's kind of the way the league goes.
We have a great analytics staff here. Lots of information. I pick and choose the information that I think is important. Coupled with that, it's your eyeballs and it's your stomach. So all 3 of those come into how you evaluate your team.
Not to Anaheim specifically, but is there a challenge when you're facing a team that you haven't seen firsthand all year?
No. For me, no, not at all. Nope.
What does Carlson being back in the lineup bring to the team?
Well, he is one of the originals, right? Has won a cup, has been a leader of this team, has been a huge part of the organization. Just to have him in there, it's a big plus for us as we start a new series. Gave us some good minutes last night. Rust on him. That rust will chip off pretty quickly.
Does it help to kind of watch yesterday, knowing that it's every other day going forward, and it's easier to kind of reset and go into tomorrow?
Yeah, we better reset. Today's a day to keep them away. We'll show our tape tomorrow in the morning meetings. I trust the group in knowing they know that we have to be much better.
Do you have any good tape in there?
There's some, not much.
What's it say towards about your group? You were able to win without your best game.
Yeah, that's a key in playoffs. As I said last night when I was talking to you guys, this is a find-a-way league. And you watch teams throughout playoffs, find ways to win when they really don't deserve it. We did that last night. But there's only so many kicks of the can at that. So we need to be ready to play better at game 2.
Tortorella, today the team did not skate. Only the extras were on the ice, and his media availability just furthered the sentiment that he felt at first blush last night following the game, that it wasn't the Golden Knights' best performance under his tutelage, and the team is going to have to be better tomorrow night. Now, the good thing is, in watching the game last night, they got better as the game went on. From the first period where they were a touch slower and Anaheim was able to take advantage and create some chances, to the second and the third, and being able to answer back that Anaheim goal last night by Granlund, and being able to put it not trail at all, or not be tied at all during the course of the game. So there was a couple of things, including the penalty killing, that stood out as positives. But from a offensive generating chances, Torts obviously feels that there wasn't enough being on their front foot last night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he's right in the sense that, again, for the Golden Knights, they were able to get to the middle of the ice against Utah. They were able to create a lot from their play inside of the zone, and I just felt for the majority of the game they didn't have the ability, or they weren't able to sustain the zone time, lean on Anaheim, and force the mistakes. Now, it's not to say they can't get there over the course of the series. I believe that they can. I just don't think that they were, to your point, on their front foot the way that they would have liked to have been. And give Anaheim credit. They were able to break out pucks pretty well. They were able to kind of get into the offensive zone and hold pucks, create in those areas. They're also quick in transition as well. So, I thought it was a really, really good game from Anaheim. Golden Knights didn't have their best stuff, but they still win it, right? Like, and if you're Anaheim in this position, you got to be thinking, how perfect a game do we have to play in order to beat the Golden Knights?
Jackson Lacombe was very good last night, noticeable.
Yes.
He leads the Anaheim Ducks in points production as a defenseman, which is very rare. Leo Carlson had an opportunity that is probably still bugging him today, but he ends up being -2 last night. So there was some performances last night. Troy Terry, very noticeable last night for the Anaheim Ducks. They're probably thinking the same thing that we heard from the Vegas side during stretches this season, where you got to find a way to finish plays.
Yeah.
Like they had opportunity. They had 4 power plays last night. This is a team that went 50%, 8 of 16 in the first round against the Edmonton Oilers, and almost scored at will on the man advantage, and were kept off the scoreboard. So Vegas was able to counter that last night and be able to stand up to the best power play in the Stanley Cup playoffs. That was a significant win. You could look at the special teams battle. That's been a big advantage for Vegas so far in the first 2 rounds of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is they won the special teams battle pretty handily against Utah, and you saw it off in game number 1. Now, you had to kill more penalties in game number 1 against the Anaheim Ducks, but when you have a power play that recency bias would tell you is really clicking, really finding a solid gear, to be able to go 4 for 4 on the penalty kill is not nothing. It's massive for the Golden Knights' confidence on the penalty kill. It is a big hit for the Anaheim Ducks, who we're used to scoring every other power play against the Edmonton Oilers. It is a very different look, just in terms of, or different team they're playing now in the Vegas Golden Knights in terms of details and penalty killing. So, I think for Anaheim, they've got to go back to the drawing board and try to figure out how to break down the Golden Knights penalty kill. And for Vegas, you planted a seed of doubt in what was the Ducks' best weapon coming into the series.
Ducks on those 4 power plays had 5 shots.
5 shots, yep.
So I'll take 1 shot per power play.
Right. Yeah.
From my penalty killers, holding them to 1 shot. And you talked about the face-offs, and just looking through it on the Anaheim Ducks power play, the Vegas Golden Knights won 58% of the draws.
Yeah.
So it goes to what you were seeing. It was Vegas being able to win some of the draws and getting some of those early clears.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was massive, right? Like, you're able to knock off 20-ish seconds, and, every time the Golden Knights won a draw cleanly, that puck was rimmed out and it was down the ice. It was almost automatic. So, the fact that situationally the Golden Knights were able to get some of those big wins, especially on the penalty kill, helped them get to that 4-for-4 day. But I think to your larger point, 5 shots on 4 power plays for an Anaheim Ducks team that coming into the series was 50% on the man advantage. That's doing the job as a 4-man unit in front of your goaltender, and your goaltender making the saves he needed to.
I don't know whether you get 20 seconds off the clock. People just throw that out there when you ice it. 20 seconds is a long time. And
15, 12, 8.
Yeah, like I don't think it's more than 15, because it takes 2 seconds to get down the ice, and then they go back and retrieve it and get it back down. Like, I understand why people say 20 seconds, but that if it was 20 seconds and you had 3 clears, you're basically through most of the power play. I just think it's less than that. Maybe a 12-second breather type of scenario.
Well, I would argue that, at least at how it felt to me yesterday watching the game, that Anaheim was pretty deliberate just in terms of kind of bringing the puck back up the ice. I don't feel like they were able to enter the zone as cleanly as maybe they would have liked to. So I'm probably adding to the amount of time that I felt
and
like
why
it
I
took
say that
Anaheim to get back.
Why I say that, Ryan, is think about at the end of a game, or the end of a period, and you go, okay, there's 20 seconds to go, and you're looking at it from the defending team, because time goes slower when you're defending. It's not proven. The time actually goes the same as it always does, but it just feels like it goes slower. So there's 20 seconds to go, and you ice the puck, and you're like, okay, that's good, we're safe. But they always seem to get a couple of chances coming down the ice with more time left on the clock. That's where I get that commentary from, that it doesn't kill off as much time as you really think through the course of an icing.
I'm going to clock it tomorrow.
Yeah, do that. Like the time that you ice it until the time that it gets back into the zone. A couple of other observations last night. Brett Howden with another goal and another strong game, playing every facet of the game. He's a winger on that line with Mitch Marner and Mark Stone, but he takes a majority of the face-off, because Marner's not your natural experienced face-off guy. So Brett Howden took 11 face-offs last night, and Mitch Marner took 7. So the flip sides go to your strong side, which is how you would do it. But Howden ended up taking more face-offs last night. He was 9-2. It wasn't just the goal last night, but you talk about chipping in different areas, and there's a guy that plays in all facets. Got a little bit of power play time last night, and also was on the ice for almost 2 minutes of penalty kill assignments last night, and goes 9-2 in the faceoff dot.
Yeah, I mean, utility is the word, right? Like, that is what Brett brings to the lineup, and the last handful of games, it has been production alongside all of the other little things that Brett Howden can do for you, as you just chronicled. He can take face-offs. He can, kind of fill in those voids when you need somebody down the middle. He can play up your lineup. He can play down your lineup. He can kill penalties. He can chip in on the power play. Like, there is no situation you can't look at Brett Howden, throw him over the boards, and he can't help you. And that's kind of the reality of who he is as a player. And the more you watch him alongside Mitch Marner, the more you see that chemistry grow. Howden getting to the net, Marner finding ways to find him when it just doesn't seem like he should be able to. The better they feel, the more confident they feel in one another, and that line's going right now. You don't touch that.
We asked the listeners to give us some suggestions for the Mitch Marner, Brett Howden duo Howdy Marner, like Howdy Partner from Stefan. That one was great. It really got things going for us. And then we've got some follow-ups to it. I love this one, the Y line, because of Stoney, Howdy, and Marnie. So I like that.
Yeah, I mean, that one's fine.
Mitchie, Bretzky, and Stoney.
Yeah, that's
Kim.
fine. Like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
The
Marnet,
hockey nickname line.
Marnet or Marnetter?
No.
Marnet?
No, not good. No.
Okay.
No. This one's good. Stone, Marner, Howden. The SMH line. I know SMH is shake my head, but Fawn says smack my head. I don't know that I've ever utilized smack my head. SMH is smack my head.
I've not used SMH before.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones, if my kids send that to me, I'm like, what? And then they spell it out for me.
Well, right, yeah, but you can utilize that as a good thing, right? Because the opposition can't stop them. All they can do is shake their head at how good they are.
I like that.
So I like that a lot.
Right now, Howdy Marner, little wordy, but I like it for its creativity.
It's 2 words.
And the Y line, I like that one a lot. It's perfect, and being able to lean into it. Mitchie, Bretzky, and Stoney. Perfect.
Okay, hold on. Howdy Marner is too wordy, but the Y line isn't.
Yeah, just it doesn't.
One
flow.
has 2 words. One has 3.
Doesn't flow nearly enough. But
it's
keep
the SMH line.
Keep it.
I like that a lot.
SMH line. I'm all for that too. I was more looking for the duo too. But we've expanded it to the line, which is fine. I give you some latitude with it, and bring the goods, and you have done that. Let's take a break. Get to Noah Hannafin if we've got time from today's availability in one-timers, news notes from around the National Hockey League, update on the draft lottery, retouch on that, and as well the one game in the National Hockey League Stanley Cup playoffs tonight. It's the VGK Insider Show on Fox Sports Las Vegas. Stay with us.
Carlson left corner, centered, one-timer, score!
It's time for One-Timers. A quick look at news and notes from around the National Hockey League. Brought to you by Paul Pata Law. It's not about the injury, it's about the recovery.
Draft lottery has taken place. The National Hockey League making the list for the top 16 picks in the National Hockey League draft that will take place in Buffalo. The order has been secured. Have to finalize when teams get knocked out of the playoffs. However, everybody else is going to slide in. But those that miss the playoffs, so we know what order they are going to pick. And the Toronto Maple Leafs, who entered this one with the 5th best odds, win the draft lottery. They had an 8.5% chance to be selecting first overall, and they won that draft lottery. First time since 2016 that they win the first overall pick. They took Austin Matthews then. We'll see how it plays out in Buffalo. The San Jose Sharks had the 9th best odds coming into today, and they end up picking 2nd overall. So they're the biggest mover. Toronto Maple Leafs win the most by selecting first overall, but the San Jose Sharks jump the highest. They had a 5% chance to win, pick first overall, but get the 2nd spot. The Vancouver Canucks had the best odds in the draft lottery by virtue of the 32nd record in the NHL's regular season. 25.5% chance to pick first overall, and they fall down. They fall the most that they could, down to 3rd. So your top 5 for the National Hockey League draft this year: Toronto, San Jose, Vancouver, Chicago, the Rangers. And Toronto, if you're going to reload, like everything that we've heard about Toronto the last couple of days has been chaos. But what ownership wants there, what management wants there, is a quick reload. How much does this win influence Austin Matthews and his decision on whether he plays there next year? Because there's a lot of talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, time will tell, right? Like, obviously, that you still got to make the pick, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you exactly. I know Gavin McKenna's got a lot of the fanfare, was projected to be the number one overall guy, but you're going to get a really good player, right? And is that enough to entice Austin Matthews that you, with this pick, can get that quick reload, can get yourself back into a position where you're contending for the playoffs and contending for a Stanley Cup? I mean, time will tell, but I think you got to see some real, like, movement in forward, and I don't know that this week was necessarily a building block for Austin Matthews to look around and be like, yeah, no, I want to continue to be a part of this. Like, the press conference was wild. So, I mean, it's good for them, right? It's good for Toronto, number one overall pick. We'll see what they do with it. But I think the big winner out of the day might be San Jose, because you look at that team.
Well, they're going to get either Stenlund or McKenna. Yeah,
how much they improved, right? How much they improved this season. Now you're adding another, like, the high-end prospect to that group of Macklin, Celebrini, and Will Smith and William Eklund. Like, look out, man.
Vancouver falls to third.
Yeah.
It's people in Vancouver are like, of course we did.
It's so not fair.
We fell to third, and that's like just the Canadian dynamics of it in north of the border, like Toronto jumping up to win the draft lottery, and passing the Vancouver Canucks, who had one of the worst seasons in franchise history. That's going to bug the West Coast people so much. To keep an eye on the message boards there. The rivalry between Vancouver and Toronto has so many layers to it that this is going to just feed into it.
Well, I mean, Vancouver lost their captain. Toronto, they still have theirs. It's been a really, really tough season, and I know that Toronto wasn't very good this year, but it was not the Vancouver Canucks season. If there was anyone in Canada that deserved a win, it was Vancouver, and of course they lose to the Maple Leafs.
Now, they did get Matt Sundin when he was a free agent. Remember, Matt Sundin played for Vancouver.
Yes. Yeah.
Wouldn't accept a trade anywhere. And they didn't get anything for him, and then they ended up playing for Vancouver. Other stuff that we're following tonight, there's one game in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and they make it that way due to the fact that there's the NHL draft lottery, and try to make sure that there's no competing games. Well, there are no competing games during the course of this day yearly. In the Stanley Cup playoff schedule. Game 2 between the Minnesota Wild and the Colorado Avalanche halfway through the first period. Remember, we're coming off a 9-6 game in the opener, won by the Avalanche. So far tonight, the Wild have scored on one of their 2 goals, and the Avalanche have scored on 2 of their 5. So we're headed for another high-scoring affair. The Minnesota Wild have changed goaltenders. They went with Wallstedt, the Wall from St. Paul, in the first series and Game 1 against Colorado, but Gustafsson going tonight for the Minnesota Wild as the Colorado Avalanche lead it 2-1, and there was 3 goals in the first 8.5 minutes of this Game 2.
Yeah, I mean... Like, buckle in. I'm all for it. I think it's really fun. And, if this game is another barn burner and track meet, like, sign me up for it. I think that, Minnesota has tremendous skill. Colorado's been fantastic. Goaltending has not been, where you'd like it to be in this series through the first game and 10 minutes of the first period in game number 2. But the goal scoring is really fun. It's exciting. All that being said, I understand going to Gustafsson here. Like, I get it. It was not one of those performances from Jesper Wallstedt that you necessarily want to throw him back out there. You don't want him to, like, lose confidence, and Colorado can put the puck in the back of the net. But if it doesn't work today with Gustafsson, like, if it's another high-scoring game, then what do you do for game number 3? You go back to Wallstedt?
Wallstedt, yeah. You got 2. Yeah. You got 2 really. That's not an Edmonton type situation.
It
you got
isn't,
2
except
really
for
good
the fact
goalies in Wallstedt and and Gustafson more like Wallstedt still early on in his career. He didn't play any of the games last year against Vegas. I think you're more comfortable with those two guys.
Yeah, I agree with that. Part of me kind of wanted to see if you'd go back to Wallstedt here to just battle through it, right? Like to just go out there and erase what was a subpar performance in his book, and now he's got to wait another game, assuming that it doesn't go well for Gustafson. And then if it does go well for Gustafson, do you just ride that hot hand?
Yeah.
I guess, but you started the playoffs
I guess.
with but you started the playoffs with Wallstedt for a reason. Like I just think it introduces some chaos where you could have just let Wallstedt try to work through it here in Game 2.
No, they were one of the teams that we had circled that were going to use two goaltenders along the way. Colorado's another one. I think we'll see Mackenzie Blackwood at some point. Calder Trophy finalists have been announced, and the Vegas Golden Knights facing one of them in the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Becca Seneca named finalist for Rookie of the Year, along with Matthew Schaefer of the New York Islanders and Ivan Demidov of the Montreal Canadiens. Sorry, Beckett and Ivan, but you guys are going to have to be comfortable being a Calder Trophy finalist because Matthew Schaefer is going to win that award. Victor Hedman released a statement today saying that he had stepped away from the Tampa Bay Lightning this season to focus on his mental health. Didn't play down the stretch in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Said that he spent most of his life in this game and nearly all of his career with this organization, and he's wearing that jersey, serving as a captain. It's the greatest responsibility of his professional life, but he also has a responsibility off the ice, and over the past couple of months he made the decision to step away and focus on his mental health. Not an easy decision, but it was the right one. So good on you for coming out with that, public with that situation, and I like it. It should be treated like an ankle injury or an elbow injury or a shoulder problem, and as Victor said, maybe it'll help other people just be able to face it more openly.
Yeah, I mean, you can't see it visibly the way that you would a broken arm or a broken ankle or something like that, and it doesn't necessarily mean that it should be viewed any differently than one of those ailments would. You've got to address mental health head on. You just do, and the fact that he had the support of his teammates, the fact that he had the support of his organization, it speaks volumes about Tampa Bay, the organization, the players, the quality and caliber of people inside of that room and organization. But I think that last part from Hedman is tremendous, right? If this is something that he did that can help somebody else going through something similar, that's the win. That's the important thing. And obviously that he is feeling better and in a better place today than he was a couple of months ago.
Carolina Hurricanes have yet to lose in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Now 6-0, but they did trail yesterday for a moment. They were down 2-0 early on in the first period against the Philadelphia Flyers, but Carolina came back and tied it, and then Taylor Hall won it in overtime. A little bit of a controversial game, but the Carolina Hurricanes, with 3 unanswered, have a 2-0 series lead as that series moves over to Philadelphia. That's the latest from around the National Hockey League. More reaction and commentary from the Vegas Golden Knights side of things, as they have a 1-0 series lead against the Anaheim Ducks. We were able to catch up with Noah Hannafin earlier today.
Last night teach you about the opponent and the kind of series this is going to be?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first game is always an opportunity to learn, and they're a good team though. They're young, they're fast, they got a lot of skill off the rush. So I think we're going to be really dialed in that area defensively, but I think if we're checking well, there'll be chances for us. So that's something we'll go over a little bit today and tomorrow just to continue to try to build. But yeah, it'll be a good series for sure.
Could you see the similarities from the first round between opponents?
Yeah, there's some for sure. I think both teams are really dangerous off the rush. A lot of good young skill. So, guys we got to take care of for sure. And yeah, I mean, I think the Utah series, obviously it was pretty feisty and stuff like that. I think last night was more just a lot more like 5-on-5 situations. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Do you think anything differently this morning than you did last night about how you played?
No, I think today's is always it was a good game for us. I think there's definitely areas we can improve on that we'll figure out and talk about today and tomorrow. But it was good. It was nice to get that goal back. Barbie's goal was a big one for us after giving one up late, and just to close it out at the end of the game was important for us.
They got some odd man rushes in the first period. I think it was just mainly off maybe bad bounces for you guys. Do you guys look at that first period as maybe more what you could have done or more of what they've done? Or?
Yeah, for sure. I think the first probably wasn't our best. I think as the game went along, we cleaned things up a little bit. We started, transitioning the puck quicker, playing faster, and I think that kind of keeps them away from their rush game, and that falls into, us being on the rush. So I think that's something we're going to have to continue to build on.
How did it help this team to get Carlson back for the series?
Yeah, he's great. He's a leader on the team. He's so important to the room, and obviously it was tough seeing him on the sidelines for a bit, just grinding to get back. So it was great seeing him, and he looked like he didn't miss a beat. Brings a lot of speed, hard to play against. So it's great to have him back in the room.
What do you like about what you and Raz have been able to do defensively over the last little bit?
I think for us it's all about just gaps, using our feet, skating, and I think when we do that, we can kind of kill plays more, and that can let us transition and get going offensively, which is what we want to do as a pair. So. Things we can keep building on, and we're going to try to keep getting better as the playoffs go along. But I think there's definitely been some good things for sure.
Just one game, but you said this one wasn't as feisty as that first series. Is that just a product of being in the second round and the adrenaline?
Yeah, probably a little bit. I think that'll probably grow as the series goes on. I think it's sometimes in the first game, you want to get to your game as fast as you can, and sometimes teams tend to sit back a little bit and see what's going to happen when you're playing a new team for the first time after playing the same team for 2 weeks. So, but I think they're a dangerous team offensively. They've been like that all year, and that seems to be their focus of how they want to play the game. So we got to really manage that.
Even the after the whistle stuff didn't seem as much. Again, one game. Do you feel that could build?
I think discipline's really important this time of the year too. They got a really good power play, and obviously we have a good power play too. So I think both teams are just trying to be smart out there and not take unnecessary penalties, and that's kind of that's what we want to do.
Thoughts on Carter Hart's performance last night?
Yeah, incredible. He's been so good. He's so calm in the net, made some really big saves, especially late in the game. So yeah, he's been incredible for us, and we just got to continue to build and keep playing well in front of him.
How can you tell when a PK feels good, like going at the rate you guys are right now?
Yeah, I think it's just reading off each other. I think right now everybody on the kill, we're reading off each other really well. If we're pressuring, everybody else knows what's going on, and everyone's reading each other. So I think that's important this time of year. You got to come up and kill big penalties. Obviously, it's going to happen. Teams are going to get chances this time of year, but I think for the most part we've done a really good job, especially off of face-offs and things like that.
There's Noah Hannafin earlier today on this day between games 1 and 2. We'll have a VGK Insider show tomorrow for 90 minutes leading into the pregame show from T-Mobile Arena. Fox Sports Las Vegas, of course, following along this journey in the 2026 Stanley Cup playoffs, and the Vegas Golden Knights off to a 1-0 series lead in a game that they won. Didn't play their best, but I think there's different areas that you can certainly pull on to draw some confidence from.
Yeah, absolutely. We've touched on it, right? The play of Carter Hart, I think, is the one you lean on first and foremost. From there, their penalty kill I thought was excellent all night long for the Golden Knights. Now, you probably don't want to feed Anaheim for power play opportunities, so discipline's an area where you can kind of clean things up going into game number 2, but you have the confidence now knowing that on the penalty kill you were able to get the job done in game number 1, and then I think from there for the Golden Knights they were able to create enough quality chances that were tremendous opportunities and tremendous plays. Like it's Brett Howden backdoor tap in, Ivan Barbashev due to a great play from Pavel Dorofeev on the wall, another backdoor tap in. So for Vegas, there are certainly areas where they did a lot of good things or some things offensively. Lean into those, clean up some of the other areas. You'll be fine in game 2.
2 straight games, the Vegas Golden Knights not only scored first, didn't trail at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's big, right? Like for a team that was kind of the question mark throughout the regular season, certainly was something that they struggled with in the early stages against Utah. The Golden Knights have been able to kind of put it together the last couple of games, and there's a difference, right? When you have a lead in a game and you're playing with a lead, it allows a bit more balance in terms of your line in terms of your minutes and the lines that you can roll over, all of those different things. It's just easier to not have to chase the game, and the Golden Knights haven't had to do that the last couple.
I'm expecting it to be a full morning skate tomorrow with everybody on the ice, so should have an idea of how things set up. If John Tortorella is going to make any tweaks after game number 1, or he just goes with the video or tape, as Torch calls it. If he just with the video session and alters the game plan on that side of it, or whether he moves some pieces around. We'll check it out tomorrow. We'll come back and wrap things up on the VGK Insider Show as we continue on Fox Sports Las Vegas.
And now, Steve Covino.
Oh, boy.
Rich Davis. This is Covino and Rich.
If the Mets... I'm on fire over here, lads. Come on, I need some back and forth. Come on, what do you got for me? Now make it quick. Make it funny.
We're down to the wire. It's the last minute of play.
Yeah, I was thinking about this. For 2 Pacific Division teams that have played in the same loop for 9 years, I was expecting a little more animosity last night, and there wasn't that. There was a couple of scrums during the course of the game, but it was more of a hockey game than it was a game between 2 rivals.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was lacking what some of the fireworks that you had early on in the series between Vegas and Utah, and I don't know if we're just going to grow into that over the course of this series. There are certainly players on both sides that can lay the body, that are capable of big-time hits. I'm looking at you, Braden McNabb. I'm looking at you, Jacob Trouba. So we'll see how things go as the series
progresses. And Nabber did that last night.
He did, yeah. He laid out Beckett Seneca, so that was a nice hit there from Braden McNabb. There was a little bit at the end of the game. Obviously Anaheim frustrated.
That's because their fourth line came out and there was nothing going on. That was just more hockey.
But, sure, fine. But I guess if it carries over, if it spills over to game number 2, if Anaheim tries to, dial up the intensity in terms of, I don't want to call it physicality, but just mucking it up, scrums, all those things, I don't think the Golden Knights are going to go away from that. They're going to lean right into it, just like they did against Utah.
Those 2 teams won their first-round series in 2 sets that were ranked 1 and 2 for goals per game. They were the highest-scoring 2 series of the 8 in the first round, and then you got basically a 2-1 game.
Yeah, I'm not terribly surprised by that. I think for the Golden Knights, their best asset is their ability to defend. They can defend at a really high level, and as far as the Anaheim Ducks go, it was a 2-1 game, but Anaheim created a lot of opportunities. They really did create some goals that should have been on the board that just weren't, right? I keep going back to Jackson Lacombe passing up an empty net, Leo Carlsson airmailing a backhander again with an empty net. So a couple of those plays work out. We're looking at a higher scoring game, kind of typical to what Anaheim does. But I think for the Golden Knights, their goal in this series is not to win games 5-4. It's to win games 3-1.
Golden Knights will try to be better off the hop tomorrow night, be more involved in the game in the first period, and not let Anaheim establish themselves. And then the other side is take advantage of Anaheim. Make them. That's a team that's used to scoring. And they're a young team.
Yeah.
If they do get a little nervy because the puck's not falling for them, that's the type of team that you could see take some chances, and has a penchant for doing that during the course of this wonderful season that they've enjoyed getting back into the mix of the Stanley Cup playoffs. So look for that opportunity tomorrow night if Anaheim decides to be a little riskier.
If the Golden Knights can frustrate them, then the Golden Knights are going to get a lot of really good looks offensively.
We're back with you tomorrow at 4 o'clock for the VGK Insider Show. We will have a 90-minute show leading into the earlier start time, 6:30, as the Vegas Golden Knights and the Anaheim Ducks play Game 2 on Fox Sports Las Vegas.